What specific steps can I take to align my dating life with my life's purpose?
Well, having a great social life really is a byproduct to having a mission and a purpose, something that lights you up on the inside, something that is exciting, compelling, gets you up early, keeps you up late at night. Because like attracts like. People that like the same things tend to like each other. And so it's when you lose yourself in the process of your purpose, your mission, and say you're working for somebody else. You go to work with them, you get to know coworkers, you come to find out like when I was in the construction industry, I went to school with a lot of people that went to the same schools or knew some of the same people that I knew, and you get to talking. They like to do the same things that you like to do. You start hanging out, you become friends. Sometimes you get introduced to, you'll be hanging out with one guy and his wife, and they're like, "Hey, we're having a football party this week. Why don't you guys come over and watch the Steelers game or the hockey game or the Magic or the Heat or the Clippers or whatever, sports team happens to be, and you go over and you hang out, and maybe you're a lifelong fan of that team or whatever. And so the wife invites one of her cute single friends that she works with at the office, and who also happens to be a big fan of the team, and then you guys start talking, and coming to find out, you might have grown up 5 miles apart from each other and knew some people in common, but never actually met until now. And then the more you talk, it's easy to talk to that person because you meet them in the process of doing things that you like socially. So it's easy to converse because you're there because of the same thing. It's just like if you love golfing, join a country club. If you love boating, join a yacht club. Because the more you lose yourself in your hobbies and your interests and the things you love doing for fun, the more you're going to smile, the more attractive that you're going to be, the more you're going to meet other like-minded people. It's like, I remember back when I was in the real estate business, it's just, we got to know the new home builders. They would have, 4 or 5 models they're launching in a new development. And they're saying, hey, we're going to have some live music. We're going to have food. We're going to have title agents there. We're going to have mortgage brokers in the industry. We're going to have all these different people come in and come hang out. And so you go and you hang out, and there might be 50 or 100 people there, and you know a lot of people, and then you end up getting introduced, and then groups of those people after that event leave and go for happy hour somewhere else or whatever. And that's just how things kind of evolve socially in your life. So create a great professional career, and you'll meet other like-minded people, and you'll hang out with those people and do things socially, especially people like being in sales or whatever, or waiting tables and tending bar. People that wait tables and tend bar tend to like to go out and party and have a good time, and they're very social people. And so wherever you're at in life, or if you're an electrician, when the day's work is done, maybe go with the boys at the favorite watering hole, have a few beers, and you get to know some of your coworkers, and then they invite you over their place in the weekends or whatever because they're having people together. And that's usually how, when you look at statistically how people meet their significant other, it's usually like through work and friends, or their social circle is usually the top 2 or 3 ways that people meet other people. So instead of having the mindset of like, how do I date, or how do I go meet people to date, create a great life, a great social life, a life that you're proud of, a life that makes you happy. Because when you're happy, you're going to smile more. And when you smile more, you're going to be more attractive, and girls are going to want to talk to you more. And if you're there doing the same activity that you both like, it's easy to converse about it because you're both passionate about it. Or people in common as you start talking, and then that way things kind of flow and progress naturally. You're not putting pressure on yourself to do a certain number of cold approaches, which you can do, and it's helpful. But I've found that the best connections are always through, is just a side effect to having a great life and the people that you do your life's work with. And it's, I worked a lot of different places over the course of my life, and you always meet new people there, and some of them you end up collecting, and they're with you for the rest of your life.
Yeah, and the new thing now is run clubs. I've seen so many different run clubs.
Yes,
So,
people tend to be more health focused. They're into personal fitness, taking care of themselves, or I mean, just getting out and doing something like that is a social activity.
mhm. Yeah, run clubs have been around for a while, and they're definitely popular in bigger cities. Um,
and they go on to like marathons, half marathons, triathlons, and stuff like that. It's a great way to meet people, especially if you're going through like a cleansing stage in your life. You want like a healthier um, path, and I would definitely recommend that.
Yeah.
It's a great way to meet people.
And they're free too.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
A great way to meet people.
I did a newsletter a few months back, and this guy was into rock climbing, and he had just had a breakup, and he was kind of struggling with that, and so he had the same rock climbing group he'd gone to for a while, and so it was like 6 or 8 people he would get together every week at the same time. And then one day he's like, you know what? I'm gonna change it up a little. I'm gonna go to this 2 o'clock class or whatever. I don't know anybody there. What the hell? So he goes and he goes to this rock climbing class at a time that he never goes, and he meets this really cute girl there, and they end up teaming up and climbing together. And then afterwards, they went on a hike and then end up hooking up by a river stream, on the hiking trail. And it's like those kind of things happen, and because it was just easy to talk to him, he was ready for it. He was open to it. He's hanging out. There's this hot girl, fit and shape. She's really passionate about rock climbing. They had a lot in common, and all he did was go to a different class of an activity he was really involved in.
Right.
And all you need is one good introduction like that, and you're out of the game. You don't need to worry about that stuff anymore. And that's typically just a side effect of having a good life, having a good time.
And what's better than dating someone who has like a common interest? Because sometimes you may have something, but to share a hobby, I think it's so like it's just deeper than just liking movies or something. Like if you're able to go play tennis or like pickleball, like imagine you found a pickleball guy, like you guys would be doing it every weekend, or you start competing, like it'd be really fun. Or like the gymnasts that go to the gym together to bodybuild and stuff. Like it's really nice.
Yeah, I had a client I was talking to last night. And he'd been with his girlfriend of 5 years, and he'd known her since they were like kids. And he's just because of his nature of his career, he has to be fit and in shape.
Mm-hmm.
But his girlfriend is like, he's tried countless times over the last 5 years to get her to go to the gym and work out, and she just has zero interest in that. And so that's an important value of his. And part of his problem is wasn't really sexually attracted to his girlfriend anymore because she gained a bunch of weight in the last 5 years, and she has no interest in doing anything about that.
Mm-hmm.
And he's also thinking about, because other than that, she's a great girlfriend, but her body and taking care of it and looking good is just not important to her. They've had plenty of conversations, and it's just not a value that they have in common. And, because there's been times that he's tired, doesn't feel like going to work out. And if you're in a relationship with somebody who's fit, they'll come to you and say, hey, come to the gym with me.
They'll
I'm
motivate
kind of
you.
tired. And like last night, I didn't feel like working out. And it's nice to have somebody that's trying to get your ass up off the couch. But they have to be into it as well. Maybe, they might be taking a day off or whatever, but somebody that's just adamantly opposed to it is like, I have no interest in that. I'm not going to exercise. I'm not going to work out. And they're just getting bigger and bigger. And he's,
Or they'll
now
motivate you to stay in too.
yeah, but it's better to get together with somebody that has that same value already, because when you don't feel like doing it, they'll motivate you to do it. But if you're in a relationship with somebody that you've talked them into working out when they weren't interested in it, then when you look at what happens to those people, like I had a friend that was a personal trainer, and he dated a lot of his clients.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of these girls would come to him because they're out of shape or they got dumped by their boyfriend. He'd get them fit and shape, looking hot, and they date for a year or two or whatever, and then whatever reason they'd split up, and 2 years later they'd be, they just put a bunch of weight on, and were totally unattractive. Just because it wasn't their value system.
Right.
And so this particular guy is gonna, he's gonna be ending a 5-year relationship because he's tried everything he could, and she has no interest in it. And you don't want her to do it to please you. You want her to do it for herself.
Right.
Because if she's not self-motivated to do it, then at some point, usually, because she wants to get married and stuff. She'll have a couple kids, and she'll gain a bunch of baby weight, and then she'll be one of those girls that just won't even lose it and won't care, won't do anything about it. And now you got a guy whose dick doesn't even get hard for his girlfriend anymore, which is basically where he's at now.
Mm-hmm.
And because he doesn't feel like having sex with her because he's not attracted to her because she put on a bunch of weight, and she's just doesn't want to do anything about it.
Right.
She's very smart, very accomplished woman, successful, but she doesn't have that value.
It's
That's
like,
oh, sorry.
oops, sorry.
Oh, that's crazy. Like, your husband or boyfriend's not attracted to you anymore. Wouldn't that make you want to get better and want to work out? You're going to get left. And then you're just probably going to get more.
He's been trying for years, and,
fatter.
you know, because it's important to him, and because of his line of work, he works with a lot of other fit and shape people and a lot of hot girls, and he's like,
Yeah.
you know, he's like,
The
you know,
temptations.
the girls are chomping at the bit, some of them, and he's just like, here I am tied down to this chick that just totally neglects her body. Because if she neglects her body, eventually she'll neglect you.
It's like me and my boyfriend. Like, I'm the kind of person that I like to stay physically active. I like to do like exercise and be outside and stuff. But I tend to get really lazy, so I like to date people who are athletes or gymnasts or something because it keeps me going. But my boyfriend started slacking because he considers soccer his workout. But if he's only doing it 2 times a week, you're not really getting a workout.
Depends on how many hours he's out there on the field.
Like an hour, but he's coaching, so it's
Yeah.
not like he's actually training. He's
Right.
just teaching the kids how to kick and stuff. But I told him, I'm like, let's get a gym membership and let's go together. I think that'd be so fun. We got it. He was paying for my membership, and our hours were different, so we couldn't like meet. Wasn't happening. So that's why I started doing my own hobbies, like going to Pilates and doing run club and roller skating, because I'm just like, I'm not gonna get fat in this relationship. And
Because then that will motivate him.
Yeah.
After he sees a lot of people like turning and looking at you, and
Right.
he'll be like
I hope
looking at
so.
himself. He'll be like, what did I do? I let myself go.
Exactly.
Fast forward 5 years.
And then you'll be
Caroline
the
will still look
cheerleader.
good.
Yeah.
He'll be in one of those little motorized scooters.
God forbid. Don't say anything. That's only
Putting
on the
2-liter
shit that I
bottles
put
of
on
soda.
television for us to watch
Yeah.
to make sure that we will never
It
be
always
a 600-pound
starts small.
human being.
Yeah.
No.
And then remember I told you that he kind of got like upset or jealous that I kept doing these things by myself. Like, and I told him, I'm like, well, these are my hobbies, you know. I'm not going to be on someone's ass to go to join me to a yoga thing or stuff like that. Like, I'm going to do it regardless. You're welcome to come, but I'm not going to be on your case about it.
Right.
And even to this day, he doesn't force himself to come or ask me like, hey, are you going to run club? He expects me to kind of invite. I'm just like, no.
He doesn't share that value.
Yeah.
And I was telling this guy, I was like, you know, your choices, because he's been trying for years, and the dude's in great shape. He's jacked. He works out 3 days a week with weights. He does cardio, and you know, she's just not interested in doing it. And you know, at some point, your option is you accept it and accept the fact that, you know, like in this case, this woman's just going to continue to get bigger, and especially she'll get bigger after they have kids, and then he'll really not want to have sex with her.
Mm-hmm.
And then she'll be bitchy and nasty to him because he's not having sex with her, and the intimacy's not there, and that's not good for them or the kids.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a bad way to go. So you know, if your boyfriend's just not that into it, he's almost 30, you know, unless he has an emotionally compelling reason for it, then he's probably not going to do it.
He can be
You just gotta
lazy.
hope he doesn't house on you at some point.
Yeah, I just hope that it doesn't.
Roll over in bed at night and crush you to death.
Stick to your diet and show him that you're disciplined, and then it will register with him after a month, 2 months, 3 months, and he'll be starting to gain like sodium water weight,
Yeah.
and he'll be like, what the fuck, my pants are getting tight, my shirts are not looking that great on me,
Yeah.
I'm getting a little chubby in the face.
Oh, I tell him that. Like, we're on FaceTime. I'm like, oh my gosh, chubby cheeks. And he'll be like, he'll move the camera. He's like, no, it's the angle.
Me and Jack kind of got the good stick because,
Well, you don't have to worry about getting fat, Shane, because you're
No.
underweight.
well, he has trouble gaining weight as well. And he used to be like really skinny, so it's hard for him to, you know, gain weight just like me. So we pretty much
Yeah,
can
you
eat
have to
everything.
eat if you want to gain weight.
I do eat.
You eat like a bird.
You need to put on protein weight, so you need to bulk up on.
Yeah, I don't eat
straight
a lot
pro-
of meat.
You don't eat protein.
Do you make protein shakes?
Me?
Yeah.
She shouldn't have liquid. She needs
No.
physical protein.
Jack does it, but it's kind of hard on my stomach, the protein shakes.
Hmm.
So I try to stay away from those. I was drinking the Boost drinks, but they kind of give me stomach aches.
That's gonna give you straight diarrhea.
Yeah, it does.
That's what my grandma's doctor prescribed for her last few years of her life was those fucking shakes.
They're horrible for you.
She ate cookies and those Ensure drinks. Just sat in her little recliner and watched TV.
And just cookies.
You should be
It's pretty much all
eating-
she ever did from the time I was a kid. I just remember sitting in the living room in her chair staring at the TV.
You should be eating meat with no seasoning and vegetables with no seasoning.
No
And that's-
seasoning, no salt, no pepper.
No salt,
nothing?
no pepper.
You can do
Lightly.
pepper.
Light,
That's
very
boring.
light.
Pepper's good.
If you follow that, it will fix your gut, and then you'll be able to put on weight.